Today's 5 on 5 guest is Jon Bartholomew. He is with AARP Oregon. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jon.
Thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. So you're talking about an interesting topic right now. We have a lot of caregivers in the state of Oregon, and we want to first kind of understand what is a caregiver, what is the service that they provide?
Yeah. Well, family caregiver can be a lot of different things. It can be the person who helps their mother go grocery shopping once a week or something like that, but it can also be the person that is taking care of a spouse or a parent with Alzheimer's disease or another debilitating condition, and doing things from medication management, bathing, feeding, etc. So it can be a lot of different things. And we have about 463,000 people in Oregon at any given time that do these kinds of things for their loved ones.
And they go through a lot of different tasks, like you mentioned. They can be related, maybe friends, whatever it may be. But what you are working on right now is kind of a listening session to hear from caregivers in the area. And one thing that they really need is respite. They need a break from what they do, right?
Exactly. Caregivers need some relief from caregiving. We know from statistics that caregivers have a large amount of stress. There's some positive elements of caregiving. I mean, people say that it brings families closer together. And there's the other side, though, of the physical, the emotional, and the financial stress that comes along with this. And unfortunately, that leads to two things. It leads to not being able to provide as good care for their loved one, and it also means health care costs for themselves. So we want to keep people in their own homes longer because that's what people want. And we also want to make sure that the caregivers don't get sick themselves. And so we want to hear from people, what specifically do you need? What kind of ways do you get breaks from caregiving? And what would you like to see more of in the community? Because it's going to vary from place to place, and that's why we're running around the state.
Right, going to be all over the state, talking to people, wanting to hear from them personally what they need, how you guys can help be a service to them. We're going to talk a little bit more about the upcoming listening sessions after this break. Joined by Jon Bartholomew with AARP Oregon. And Jon, we're talking about respite for caregivers, and you're going to be holding some listening sessions for people who give care to loved ones, and they maybe need a little bit of a break and they might need some resources. Talk to me about these listening sessions.
Well, these listening sessions are to hear from community members, and this is any community member. If you've been a family caregiver in the past, if you are one now, if you think you might be one in the future, or say you're a professional working with people who need caregiving, we want to hear your thoughts on what we might be able to do as a community, as a state, to make respite more available, more affordable, and more used effectively. And so on the 15th, we will be in Medford at the library from 4 to 6 p.m. to hear from any community member who's got some ideas on how we can make sure that caregivers get the breaks they need so they don't burn out. And it's open to the public.
Very good. And there's going to be other dates. You guys are traveling all over the state of Oregon, so if someone can't make it to that date, maybe they can make it to another and drive a little bit of a distance. Is there a website or a way that they can kind of get some more information about where other dates will be?
Yes, you can go to aarp.org/Oregon, and there's a blog post right there that talks about all of the different dates and locations for these listening sessions.
Very good. Also curious to know if someone is watching this right now and they think, gosh, I really need some kind of immediate tips when it comes to taking a break for themselves, what would you say?
The best thing to do is to call the local ADRC. ADRC stands for Aging and Disability Resource Connection. And here in Medford, it's run by RVCOG, Rogue Valley Council of Governments. But just, Google ADRC of Oregon, or I believe there's an 800 number for them.
Sure.
Contact them, and they do options counseling, they do information and referral, and they will connect you with whatever resources there exist right here in town and in the county, Jackson and Josephine County.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Jon.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back after this break.